You just hate to hear something like that. You really do.
First at 5, Decatur police are investigating a second fatal shooting in less than 2 days.
Plus, Christmas comes early for gun advocates in the land of Lincoln. The court ruling that put guns back on the legislative table.
He's going for the record again. Find out how you can help this local world record holder in his quest to ring the bell for their charity. First News at 5 starts now.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. For First News at 5, I'm Vince Dimitri.
And I'm Marianne Manco. Police in Decatur need your help tonight to find 2 suspects who shot a young man to death in a city park. It's the second fatal shooting in the Soy City in 36 hours.
Let's head straight to ABC News Channel 20's Katie Hines for the details. Katie.
Vince and Marianne, officers responded to Decatur's Galloway Park for a shooting around 11 o'clock last night. When they arrived, they found this man, 21-year-old Jarvis Thomas, dead in his vehicle. An autopsy confirms he died from a single gunshot wound to the head. Tonight, family members are mourning a nice person they say was getting his life back on track. People living near the park are wondering whether to leave the area.
It's peaceful out here. And I've been here for 4 years, and I've never seen anything like this happen. Never.
This woman lives near Galloway Park in Decatur. She didn't want to show her face or share her name, but listen to her voice and you can hear how the murder within a block of her home has shaken this mother.
I got boys, and now I'm scared for them because they used to go up to the park, play basketball all the time.
Carla Spitzer lives across the street from the park. She says it's a favorite for children in the neighborhood.
You'll see groups of young teenagers and young kids. People bring their kids over in cars and watch them while they play, you know, on the playground equipment. And the young kids in the summer are usually, you know, grouping up and talking. And
she's also noticed more people congregating in the isolated areas.
There's a lot of cars that park in that back area of that road that goes alongside of the pavilion there. And that's pretty alienated back in there, because there's really not any houses that have a real good view of that.
The city and Park District police departments are investigating the events leading up to their grim discovery Monday night. This neighbor isn't sure she can continue to live here.
I'm really thinking about moving because I have children, you know, and I don't want them to grow up and be around something like this because, I mean, it's a tragedy. And, you know, in your own neighborhood, somewhere where you never would think anything like this would happen.
Decatur police aren't releasing any other details about the fatal shooting. They didn't return our phone calls today. We do know they're searching for 2 white males. The first is 5'7", weighing 130 pounds and armed with a gun. The second, 5'10", and weighs approximately 170. Vince and Marianne.
Thanks very much, Katie. If you have any information, call the Decatur Police Department or Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen, 423-TIPS.
Well, gun rights advocates are celebrating tonight because concealed carry in Illinois may soon be legal. Today, a federal appeals court struck down a ban on carrying concealed weapons in our state of Illinois. ABC News Channel 20's Liz Foster is live at the State House with more on what the court had to say. Liz?
According to this federal ruling, state lawmakers have 180 days to write a new law that legalizes concealed carry. Gun rights advocates have long argued that the prohibition against concealed weapons violates the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment and what they see as Americans' right to carry guns for self-defense. State Representative Brandon Phelps has already written a bill that includes provisions for background checks, field provisions, and other issues. A spokesperson with Attorney General Lisa Madigan's office says they're reviewing what legal steps can be taken. Right now, Illinois is the only state where carrying a concealed weapon is entirely illegal. Coming up tonight at 10, we're going to have more details on this ruling as well as reaction. Reporting live outside the Capitol, I'm Liz Foster for ABC News Channel 20.
Thanks, Liz. The Jacksonville Police Department has a new policy on the books tonight on how to handle the special needs of its disabled residents. That makes Jacksonville one of a handful of Illinois cities to have such a policy. The city's police department already has plenty of experience dealing with the disabled. The Illinois School for the Deaf, Illinois School for the Visually Impaired, and the Jacksonville Developmental Center have called the city home for decades. But this is the first time the department has instituted a firm policy.
We actually devised it on the heels of an incident that occurred here where a hearing impaired person was taken into custody, and we had problems with the translation, of course, and the officers at that time did not call an interpreter in to assist in the interview. And so we saw this as something that the officers needed in the way of guidance on how to deal with the handicapped individuals in the community.
Jacksonville Police Chief Tony Gruton says the policy works in correlation with specialized training for officers. Right now, 10 officers have completed the training. 10 more are slated to take the course come January.
Well, tonight, a City Water, Light and Power lineman is back on the job after being fired for cutting down a tree on private property using city equipment. A CWLP spokeswoman says Matt Winters is back on the payroll again as of Thursday. This after an arbitrator disagreed with the reason for letting him go. The incident occurred at a household off West Washington Street in Springfield. Winters did receive a 30 days unpaid suspension.
The intersection of Laurel and Spring Streets in Springfield back open tonight after a two-vehicle collision. Witnesses say a truck was heading westbound on Laurel and hit a white car pulling out of a parking lot. The truck then rolled over and hit another car. They told the driver the truck had to be pulled from the vehicle and was taken to the scene in an ambulance. Springfield police have yet to release any further information on the crash. A Springfield warehouse building used partly by the Illinois Lottery sustains minor damage after a late morning fire. The call came in just before noon. Firefighters were able to prevent any serious structural damage, but the building did sustain heavy smoke damage. The cost of the damage and the source of the fire are still being determined, though it's believed a faulty heating unit might be the cause.
Funeral arrangements are complete for a longtime Lincoln City alderman. Orville Buzz Busby died Saturday at Memorial Medical Center. He was 75 years old. A visitation is planned for Friday from 4 to 7 at the First Presbyterian Church in Lincoln, and then memorial services will be on Saturday, December 15th, also at the church. Busby served 2 stints as Lincoln alderman and committed more than 20 years of service to his community.
E-books, smartphones, and computers have changed the way our kids learn today, so state historians are keeping up by digitizing the Abraham Lincoln's written works. A new grant of nearly $33,000 is funding efforts like digitizing a Springfield newspaper that was key to Abraham Lincoln's political career. It was first known as the Sangamo Journal, then the Illinois State Journal. Today we know it as the State Journal Register, or the SJR. The transformation is slow and it's expensive.
We began with a grant from the National Endowment for the Humanities to digitize the period from 1834 to 1842 when Lincoln was a state legislator. And this new grant from the Abraham Lincoln Bicentennial Foundation is going to allow us to continue that digitization process into the 1840s and 1850s.
More issues will soon be available for free with searchable text through the Illinois Digital Newspaper Collection at the University of Illinois.
All right, outside tonight it's a clear sky. Look at that sunset out there. We are looking live, and in our satellite imagery currently, we have mostly clear skies, and that'll be the case all night tonight. That's going to set up another cold night, although not quite as cold as last night. Temperatures right now generally in the low 30s, although some of us are still in the upper 30s. That's the case in Springfield and in Jacksonville. Our first forecast tonight, temperatures fall through the low 30s, 24 overnight, 46 for the high tomorrow, and there is some rain in our future. I'll tell you about it coming up.
All right, Rick, thank you very much. The spirit of giving is what motivates one Springfield man's determination to set a world record. This year, he's looking forward to ringing in a new world's record. ABC News Channel 20's Glenn Marshall joins us live from the Schnucks on Chatham Road in Springfield with more for us tonight. Glenn.
Get this, 2 arms, 1 bell ringing for 60 hours and 10 minutes. Daryl Toriskis wants to do it again, only this time ringing longer. It's all part of the Salvation Army's challenge for the longest continuous handbell ringing by an individual at the Red Kettle. Daryl Toriskis participated in the contest last year. His unusual talent got him to the Guinness Book of World Records. Toriskis says he'll go the extra minute this year just to help those in need.
It's more about raising money for the Salvation Army and bringing awareness to all the kettles, not just this one here, but all throughout central Illinois and all throughout the continental U.S.
Last year, Toriskis raised $6,300 just at this kettle post alone. He wants to raise even more this year. He's not the only one participating in the contest, though. He has a handful of competitors across the country. He also told me that he gets a little lonely during the late night hours. So Vince, why don't you come out here and keep him company tonight?
Let's do that. Thanks, Glenn. Christmas came a little early for some good little boys and girls at McClernon Elementary School. The North Star Lottery Group, that's the agency that manages the Illinois Lottery, adopted kindergartners and first graders at McClernon as part of its holiday toy program. This morning, Santa's little helpers dropped off toys for about 96 local students. For many, it was a morning they will never forget.
I think that what the kids get out is that this year for the holiday season, something good is happening to them, and this is what we want them to realize from this. We don't want them to think about North Star, anything else than the holiday season can be a good period for them. That was what we need.
North Star Lottery helps manage the Illinois Lottery, and part of the lottery's proceeds helps fund state schools. But this year, as they have done in years past, each employee has done their part in giving back to our local community, not as a company, but as individuals.
Still ahead on First News at 5. Just weeks remaining before we go off that fiscal cliff if lawmakers cannot reach a legislative compromise. And while most Americans would see tax increases, how would seniors be affected?
Which state is the healthiest? New rankings released today, so how does Illinois shape up?
And don't forget to get connected. For more news anytime, check out WISCS on Twitter.
You're watching ABC News Channel 20's First News at 5, now in high definition, with Marianne Manco, Vince Dementri, and Chief Meteorologist Rick Kirby. This is ABC News Channel 20, First News at 5.
It is the national political topic, the so-called fiscal cliff. So far, there's no deal, and if lawmakers in Washington cannot come to an agreement, everyone will be impacted. Higher taxes and government spending cuts. ABC News Channel 20's Andrew Hansen has more tonight on what seniors could expect.
The clock is ticking. Can President Obama and the Democrats reach a deal with House Speaker John Boehner and the Republicans? So much is at stake, and seniors in Springfield are watching closely.
We send our lawmakers to Washington to represent our interests, and I don't know that I really see that happening.
The big issue regarding the fiscal cliff deals with taxes, but for seniors, changes to Social Security, like the way cost of living adjustments are calculated, and changes to Medicare are also a possibility. Mike Miller is a UIS political science professor.
There seem to be proposals from both sides on Medicare. On the right, the proposal seems to be they want to raise the age a couple of years before you're eligible. On the left, we see some proposals for means testing, which means that higher income folks are going to have higher premiums.
If non-defense discretionary spending cuts are not averted, things like fewer home-delivered meals for seniors, fewer rides to places in a senior's community, thousands being eliminated from the low-income home energy assistance program, and the list goes on, those are all possibilities.
I think most Americans are coming around to accepting that if we're going to get a handle on the deficit, probably a lot of things should be on the chopping block. If we go over the fiscal cliff, I think immediately, though, you're going to see across-the-board cuts in many federal programs.
So it's now wait and see for all Americans.
I'm not particularly concerned about myself. What I am concerned about is my children and my grandchildren.
In Springfield, Andrew Hansen, ABC News Channel 20.
Well, the U.S. Federal Reserve is expected to announce a new bond buying plan, that is, this week to support the U.S. economy. They could do that by reducing long-term interest rates and encouraging borrowing by companies and by individuals.
Bright sunny day.
Oh, yeah, it's really nice out. And the birds are chirping. See, I told you they were really frisky yesterday.
We're back to the birds.
What are they?
They are. They're just out
chirping.
there. Yeah, they're chirping a lot.
All right, yeah. Not so bad outside right now. It was a cold morning this morning, but temperatures have made it into the 30s. Tomorrow we'll make it into the 40s, and that warm-up continues as we head toward the weekend. That forecast is next.
Over here in our brand spanking new fantabulous weather center with Chief Meteorologist Rick Kirby.
It
Lots
is nice.
of sunshine today, but
it was a cold start this morning. If you were up early, I was not, but I heard from a lot of people.
No surprise there.
No. Well, we work late at night here, but outside tonight we have clear skies. Another cold night tonight, although a little warmer than what it was last night. Here's our live Prairie Heart Cam right now, and we have clear skies, and you can see a little hint of sunset still. Isn't that nice? As we look out to the west, and it was a beautiful sunset tonight. Here is our satellite imagery right now, and we're really not seeing a whole lot as high pressure is in charge here, bringing in mostly clear skies, a few clouds here and there, but mostly clear tonight. Meanwhile, it's all high pressure controlling our weather right here. It's going to slide to the east tomorrow. That means winds come out of the south and southwest, and that means temperatures will be a little bit warmer than what they were today. We are in the low and mid 30s right now in our eastern and southern counties. Springfield over to Jacksonville right now. now still in the upper 30s. Quincy already 32 degrees right now. So temperatures are a little bit chilly outside and there's a little breeze. But you can see we're headed in the right direction here. As we compare temperatures now to this time last night, we're 4 to 5 degrees warmer, and that will continue tomorrow as we get a little bit warmer tomorrow than what we were today. Right now in Springfield, 37 degrees out at the airport with a clear sky. Winds blowing from the south-southwest at 6 miles per hour right now, and our dew point currently is in the mid-20s at 24. Our weather watchers are reporting temperatures that look just like that. Tim Scott in Chatham, 33. Our father-son team of Rod and Ben Hughes in southeast Springfield, 38 degrees, pretty nice. Joni Welton in Taylorville, 31 degrees, and Pat Halliman in Auburn, 35 degrees, chilly, but again, tolerable and not all that unusual for this time of the year. So our high temperature today hit 40 degrees, which is 1 degree above normal. So 39 is the normal high. We did hit 40 this afternoon, 22 last night, a little bit warmer overnight tonight. There are your records and your sunrise sunset time for this date. A lot of folks, of course, don't like these early sunsets at 4:34, and that is early. Once we hit December 20th, we start to get a little bit longer every day, so these short days will start to grow here soon. High pressure tomorrow slides off to the east, as I mentioned earlier, so winds tomorrow come out of the south and southwest, and you can tell that by the isobars here, the lines of equal air pressure, and they'll be a little bit breezy at times. The closer the isobars, the breezier it is, so a pretty good wind going just to our west with fairly decent southwest winds here tomorrow, starting to pump warmer weather across the area, and then a couple of cold fronts to our north eventually will roll through here, giving us a rain chance as we head into Friday night and Saturday. But ahead of that will be warmer weather. Temperatures tomorrow into the 40s, so again a little bit warmer than the 40-degree reading we saw today for a high. So for tonight, mostly clear skies, cold again, but not quite as cold, 24 for the overnight low, and then tomorrow mostly sunny and a little bit warmer. Let's go 46 for a high tomorrow, but winds could gust up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. There's a 7-day forecast for you. Sunshine 49 on Thursday, 52 for the high on Friday, and there's that rain chance Friday night and Saturday. Rain likely, by the way, for that time period. Tuesday sees a rain chance as well. Maybe could end with a little light snow Tuesday night. That's a long way away, and we'll keep you posted, guys.
Thank you, Rick. Overeating, it's an epidemic among America's kids.
After the break, find out what other dangerous problems binge snacking might cause. It is not necessarily good or bad news as Illinois ranks somewhere right near the middle of the healthiest states in the nation. The land of Lincoln comes in at 30th in the 2012 America's Health Rankings released earlier today. The ranking is unchanged pretty much from last year. However, Illinois does rank among the worst in binge drinking at 47th and high levels of air pollution at 46. For the 6th straight year, Vermont is the healthiest state, while Mississippi and Louisiana have tied for last. And new guidelines recommend doctors should encourage children and teens who smoke to stop as soon as possible or not start. These new rules come from the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force. This is a change from the strategy given back in 2003, believe it or not, which indicated that there was no reason to recommend for or against doctors talking to young patients about smoking. But doctors with this year's task force say new data shows that 90% of adults started smoking before they were 19 years old, adding that community-based involvement is actually highly effective to help curb the problem. And researchers studying children and teens who overeat say that there is a strong link it can lead to future drug use. The Boston Children's Hospital study looked at boys and girls between the ages of 9 and 24. In addition to girls being more likely to binge eat, there is a connection to overeating, leading to marijuana and other drug use. Researchers believe lack of control is an important indicator in both instances, but so far they remain uncertain about the actual connection. Stay with us. A final check of your 7-day forecast is still ahead.
All right, there's our 7-day sunshine, 46 for the high tomorrow, 49 on Thursday as we continue the warm-up. Friday night, sunshine at 52, but there's a rain chance Friday night and Saturday. In fact, rain is likely for that time period. And then Sunday, mostly cloudy and 42, 41 on Monday with another rain chance Tuesday.
Oh, no, not too bad.
Not bad.
Thanks, Rick. Thanks for joining us. World News is up next.
Good night.